So in today's video, I want to share with you guys how you can start a subscription-based business in less than a month in 2021. I believe this is the very best and fastest way to get started with a subscription-based business right now. So I'm going to structure this video pretty simple for you guys. I'm going to start with the pros, then the cons, and I'm going to show you exactly what I use to build this really simple and easy. And then I'm going to go over the challenges that come along with actually having a subscription-based business. Then I want to give you guys a quick tip, some tips on how you can manage your business better when it comes to having an online business. So let's start with the pros of having a subscription-based business. And some of these are going to be pretty obvious, but number one is the fact that you get paid on a monthly basis. It's not like you just sell one thing and that's it. You actually get paid reoccurring. So you're not guaranteed income, but you almost are definitely guaranteed some type of income, because as long as you keep subscribers, then you'll keep income coming in from this business model. Pro number two is that it's actually really simple to manage a subscription-based business depending on what you're doing. There's so many things you could be doing with this, but for me it's definitely been simple. You don't really have to think about it much, because once you know what you're going to sell and people want it on a monthly basis, whether you're making something for them or it's digital, it's very simple to manage it. Once you've built up some clientele and you have them in your database, there's a bunch of programs you can use to manage your database of customers, and it's relatively simple to keep up with them that way. Pro number three, and that is that you don't only have to sell one subscription. You can actually sell more than one subscription. You can sell a VIP subscription. You can sell other things along with your subscription. So this business model definitely integrates with other business models really well. If you already have a product or a business, you can always add on a subscription-based service with the business that you already have. Or if you already have a subscription business, you can sell other products along with it. So it integrates really, really well with other business models. So you don't have to only be stuck with this one model. You can actually grow it to new limits depending on what you're looking for in your business. So let's move on to the cons of having a subscription-based business. And number one is that you're gonna lose a percentage of customers every single month. So you have to be on the move to always get new customers every month, or find strategies that works for your business to keep customers on board. Or even if they leave, you have to find ways to get them to come back and to sign back on your subscription-based business. So it's kind of like you have to juggle customers a little bit, only for so long, because once you get it to a point where you're bringing enough revenue, and if a few leave, and it's not really hurting your business too much, but you definitely want to have some strategies in place to where you're either getting customers back, not losing customers, or you always have to have something in place to where you're keeping these people on, and you have to know ways to get them back if they leave. Con number two is that you have to always keep innovating your product. You just can't keep selling the exact same thing over and over again, because customers will get bored with what you're selling. So you have to always be thinking in new ideas constantly. Like, you always have to be innovating your brand, your business in a subscription-based model, because if you want to keep people on a monthly or a 6-month or a year subscription, you have to keep bringing more to them, because they're always hungry for more. And if you're doing the exact same thing, then you're just not going to keep these people on board. So you have to always keep innovating. This isn't exactly a con, but something you have to look out for when you're having a subscription-based business, because it's super easy to think that just because you set everything up and everything's ready to go and you've been doing it for 3+ months, that you don't have to innovate anymore. But you'll soon find out that when people start leaving and they get bored of your product, that you'll realize that you have to keep bringing more to the table to keep these people on board. Con number three, and that is it can cost a lot to start a subscription-based business if you don't already have income coming in. It could, depending on what you're doing, if you have a subscription box, it can definitely cost a lot, but you can always leverage other sources to keep your startup costs down. But if you have like a subscription box business, it can cost between $5,000 to $10,000 or more to start your business up and get it moving. But there's other ways you can do this for a lot cheaper depending on what you're doing exactly. So if you have if you're doing videos or things like that, any digital products or cheaper products, it can be a little easier. But keep in mind that you will have to spend a lump sum to either get your website, get the programs that you need to start your business. So just keep that in your back pocket when you're starting your business, that you will have to at least have, I would say, around $5,000 saved, just in case you might not need it. But I would have that amount saved just to begin with your business, just to get it moving forward. So now that we got the pros and cons out of the way, there are plenty more pros and cons out there, but I just want to share a few with you guys just to look out for the main ones. But let's move into what you actually need to do to start your subscription-based business. And step number one is come up with the actual product you want to be selling on your platform. And I wouldn't think about this too quickly. I would really give it some deep thought on what you're going to start, because once you start, there's no real going back after that once you begin putting in the work. So I would put in a lot of thought into what you're going to be selling and what really works for you and what you think consumers need moving forward. And to be honest, I wouldn't move with something that you actually want, because you're not selling to you, you're selling to your customers. So I mean, you could have something that works for you, but I would honestly move with whatever's innovative for the customer, because you're going to be selling to them at the end of the day. So it's okay to put your passion into it, but definitely come up with something that's going to be more for the situation with your customers. So definitely always keep your customers in mind when you're coming up with a product. The second step for building your business is be coming up with the exact name you want to call your business. And this isn't really a super big step, but you definitely need a name that's going to fit with your product, and definitely that's going to hold a place for when people see that name, they're going to know that that's your business and what you sell. I wouldn't put a ton of thought into this and waste a lot of time, but this is definitely a big step, because you have to be proud of what you're creating at the end of the day. So definitely come up with a name that's going to fit you and fit for your customers and fits with your product as well. So the third step for creating your subscription-based business is you have to find out where you're going to get your product from and how much you're willing to spend on your product. Definitely this is where the work really comes in, because you're going to have to really find, do your research on your suppliers and how long it's going to take to get to you and how much it's going to cost, and a lot of things you have to look into. So definitely do a lot of research on where exactly you're going to get your products from, and make sure it's not just anything. Make sure it's actually what you want. Don't just settle for the cheapest thing, but it actually has to fit with what your vision and have true quality for your customers, because you don't want to sell them anything. You want to have something that's true quality when it comes to your brand, because you have to live with your brand and you have to back it up with the quality that it comes with. So definitely do a lot of research on where you're going to get your products, how much you're willing to pay, and just look into the numbers of your business, and definitely spend a lot of time on this, because it's one of the most important steps of creating your subscription-based business. For example, when it came to my skincare subscription box, it was definitely tough coming up with suppliers to work with, because not all of them are going to be willing to work with somebody new, and they're not going to be willing to give you the prices that you want just because you're just starting out. But a few will if you put in the work. For me, it took me a while to really get in touch with some suppliers that were willing to give me a deal on the products that I wanted. But you just have to build that relationship with them through email, and show them that you're willing to work with them in the future as well. So building those connections is powerful when it comes to working with your suppliers, because you have to make sure it works for them, it works for you, and it works as a collaboration rather than you just getting a deal. You have to really collaborate with these people and work together, because you're not only growing your business, but you're helping them out in some form or fashion as well. But this doesn't apply to everybody, just in case you're doing video. But if you are doing your product, definitely look into this for building those relationships with your suppliers, because it will definitely help you out in the long run. Step number 4, and that's going to be coming up with the packaging for your subscription-based model. And if you're doing a subscription box, I highly recommend either creating your own design using something like Canva. It's super easy, and it doesn't take a lot of work to do it, and you can actually work in your design yourself rather than hiring somebody. You can save a lot of money that way. But if you're looking for something more artistic, I would go and hire someone. You can hire someone for like maybe $40, $50 at the most to come up with the design for your box. And then after that, you're gonna have to find out how exactly are you going to get your boxes for the cheapest price, and who are you going to work with to get your boxes. I highly recommend going with someone off of like something like Alibaba, where they're really cheap, but the only thing is that you're going to be waiting a while for your boxes to come in. So I highly recommend doing this step in the beginning process before you even getting started with your website, because it's going to take a while for those boxes to come. That's going to be one of the last things you receive before you even launch, because if you're looking to get the cheapest prices, I think I paid around like 80 cents for my box, 50 cents, and the shipping was like maybe $100 or $200, and it took like a month or two to come. So But if you're looking to get those really cheap prices, that's what it's going to take. If you're looking for something really quick and you're willing to put up the money, other companies in the US are looking to charge around $150 to $2, and that's really expensive when you factoring in that you're getting like 100 or 1,000 boxes. So you don't want to be paying $2 for a single box when you're ordering 1,000 boxes. You don't want to have to pay that much. You want to save as much money as possible because you want to leverage every single cent you have to put into your products. Step number 5, and this is sort of a mini step for your brand. If you're doing a subscription box or any type of product, it's going to be highly recommended that you have some type of shredded paper or fluff in your packaging to protect your product and just give your product some more value when you're shipping your products, so they don't they don't break or anything like that or get messed up. But what I was doing for a while was ordering 10 pounds of shredded paper from a company called Uline, and it wasn't too expensive at first, but when I started factoring the cost in, $36 per box, and we were packing like 50 boxes for every 10 pounds, so that's $36 per 50 boxes, and that can, over time, that can definitely add up. So the solution we came up with was to just buy a shredder and go find some newspapers that people weren't looking for, ask people for some used books or anything like that, any type of recyclable material, and get a shredder and start shredding away. I mean, by the time we shredded 3 boxes, it took us no time to do that, and we had already saved over $100 just in one day, that fast. And that $100 can be used to either market your product or innovate your product even further or add onto your website. So that's definitely a helpful way to cut cost on your subscription box moving forward, because trust me, every single cent counts when you're starting your business. Step number 6, and that is, I highly recommend that you create some type of social media page for your brand before you even start selling your product. I highly recommend doing this first. This should actually be before step number 1, and just create like a Instagram, a TikTok, a YouTube, and don't actually put your products on there first. Actually just start posting images or videos that relate to your product. For example, if you're selling something like a juice, I would just post high resolution images of different fruits or things like that that relate to your brand. So by the time you build a following, then say if you build a following of 10,000 people on your Instagram, then once you launch your brand, you can actually just flip the page to your brand, and now you have over 10,000 people already ready to purchase before you've even started. I wish I would have started this tip when I was starting my brand, but I just want to help you guys out with this. This is definitely a helpful move because you're going to save so much on marketing when you actually launch, and you're already going to have some revenue coming in just based off those 10,000 people. Even if only 200 people buy from that list of 10,000 people, that's still a lot of revenue coming in to say you just started your business. Step number 7, and this is a really important one, and I know there's a lot of steps, guys, but once you've done all these steps and you've built your brand, you're going to be so proud of what you've accomplished, and you're just going to have so much confidence in your brand and ready to take on the world and push forward and hustle to take your brand to that new level. But step number 7 is you're going to have some type of website to sell your products on, obviously, and I highly recommend actually having a website over using other services, because you want to be in full control of what you're selling. You don't want to have rules and things like that, people banning you from their site because you did something wrong and taking away your source of income. So I highly recommend going with something like WordPress, and not actually using WordPress, but then adding on something like Elementor to where you're more in control of how you build your website. I highly recommend using something like Elementor, guys. It's literally just a basic drag and drop system, and it's super easy. You can make really custom pages literally from scratch, and you don't have to have any type of knowledge with code or anything. It's really simple, guys. You can do so much with Elementor. Like, the possibilities are literally limitless to what you can do with this. And it took me maybe a month or 2 to just build my website, and that was me playing around with it. That it wasn't just the building functionality, but it took me about probably less than a month to build it. You can actually build something with Elementor in about 2 weeks if you want to, but I highly recommend doing this over trying to pay somebody, guys. Like, it's just that easy. Like, you can create all types of custom pages just so your brand doesn't look like other brands, being all bland. You can actually add your own touch to your website and Elementor has so many different widgets with what you can do and different things that all of these tools can do, and they really work with you guys. And it's actually really cheap, guys. Like you can use for free for nothing, and it comes with a lot of features. But if you want to just for your site, you're paying $50 a year. That's really cheap. Actually, let's pull up a calculator and see how much that is for the year. That's 49 divided by 12. You're paying about $4 a month to build your website. This is so much better because you're in control of what you're doing with your site. You don't have to worry about talking to someone, that going back and forth on what you want to add. You can just hustle all night and put your site together exactly how you want. So I highly recommend using Elementor for your project with your subscription-based business. And for step number 8, you're going to need hosting for your website, and I highly recommend going with Bluehost. They've been super simple, and whenever I call them to help me out with something, if I'm stuck, they're always on call to help you with, you see, 24/7 support. They're always on call to help you with whatever stuff you have trouble with, and they're super cheap, guys, about $4 a month. Sometimes they have a lot of different deals that they have going on, but this is this is just so you can register your domain, things like that. You can have your email attached to this, but I highly recommend just going with somebody like Bluehost. Super simple, super easy, get you started the same day. And if you're, obviously you're going to be doing a membership type subscription for your business, so I highly recommend this brand I've been using for a long time called Memberfull. I think they're about $25 a month, and the best thing is you can start adding everything you need onto the platform before you even start paying. So you can just add this to your site and be prepared for your launch. You can be prepared 3 months before you even launch and not pay anything. The only time you have to pay is when you actually start accepting payments from your customers. And guys, they're super cheap, and the platform is super easy. It tells you your revenue, it tells you your monthly recurring revenue. You can see it through, you can see how many members you have. You can see how many days you want to go back to see how much revenue you made every, the past 90 days. You can see how many people renewed. It's super easy, and they're always adding new features to this. And what I like about it is the user interface is incredible, guys. It's the most simplest thing ever. When someone signs up, they get like this little pop-up that just asks them for their information. So you literally have to do nothing. Like this integrates with Elementor and WordPress so super easily, and it's just super user friendly. Like all the my customers had no problem using this when they were signing up. It's just that easy. You don't want to have something that's complicated that turns your customers away when they're trying to sign up for your service. Like this is super easy, guys, and this just integrates so well, and it's just that cheap. It's $25 a month. So if you're making the really high revenue, this isn't going to cost you much. Like just go ahead and get it. It's free for as long as you need to try it out, and then once you start accepting payments, $25 a month. It's how much is that a year? It's gonna be $300 a year. And if you're making $5,000-6,000 a month, you're not gonna miss that. That's a really low cost for some software that's really this good. Like I highly recommend it. And I'm gonna leave some links to all of these platforms down in the description below. And I'm not an affiliate, so I'm not getting paid for any of this. I just want to help you guys out with building your subscription-based business as soon as possible. So I have a little bonus for you guys, and this is something I use because like it's just really user friendly, and this works for if you have a business that's like you have your customers fill out like a quiz, and then you build their product based on that quiz, and it's something called Typeform. So this is Typeform, guys, and basically this is a platform to where you can leverage this so that your customers can take a personalized quiz just in case you want them to fill this out before you curate their product for them. And this is really nice, guys, because like it's super user friendly, and it just really looks nice, and it just integrates with a lot of other different things like MailChimp, things like that. And the best thing is that you can actually use this free, but the best thing is that just how it looks for your website. It looks really professional. Like it doesn't look like you just threw this up in no time, but it literally takes like an hour to really get this up and running and put your quiz on there, depending on what you want to do with it. And if you're going to get this, I highly recommend going with the professional plan, simply because it's the only one. I mean, it comes with 5,000 responses every month, and that's good if you're really scaling that fast. But the best thing about the professional plan is that you get this redirect upon completion, and you really need that. If it wasn't for that, I would go with this plan. But that little tool right there is really helpful, because once the customer takes that quiz, it redirects them to your Memberfull to where they can pay. And without that, they'll be, if you didn't have this, they'll be just stuck on the quiz or go to a thank you page. But with that, I believe you can probably actually use a button to go here, but it's 10 times better if it just redirects on its own to go here, because you want it to be as user friendly as possible. You want it to be able to jump from Typeform to Memberfull effortlessly, and that's just a really handy feature to make your website really clean and sleek when customers are using it. So guys, that's Typeform, and I highly recommend it because it integrates well. If you're going to be using something like MailChimp to collect emails, because you're going to be asking for emails with your Typeform, and it'll be able to save those emails to MailChimp automatically. And you can use a lot of different things to integrate with Typeform, but guys, definitely check this one out, and it's really easy to set up. Just use some basic HTML to and then you can add this directly to your Elementor widgets, and it's just that easy, guys. I highly recommend checking that out. And for shipping, guys, I highly recommend going with Shippo. They're super easy. They give you discounts, and I want to let you guys in a little secret with using something like this, because this is really good because it keeps track of everything. So if you have a problem with a tracking number, you can easily go here and locate all of the information. It just keeps everything nice and neat for when you're managing your site. And the best thing is, a little trick that I use is when I'm shipping something, if it's 8 ounces, I just go ahead and put something like 4 ounces, and I save like 50 cents per product that I ship. And that is going to save you guys a ton of money depending on how much you're shipping. Because if you ship like something like around 1,000, say if you ship 1,000 orders, and that's 50 cents you're saving. You're saving over $500 by doing that little trick. And they still ship the product even though you didn't put that accurate weight. But I highly recommend doing something like that, because you can save a lot of money, and it's all about saving when you're just starting out with your business. But I highly recommend Shippo because it integrates really well with Memberfull actually too. If you link it with Memberfull, what it does is that the information that the customer puts in their address, it automatically transfers to Shippo. And the best thing is, you don't have to put that in manually, so you're saving a ton of time by not having to put that in, and that's time that you guys can be using to leverage and grow your business and make more sales and do marketing, things like that. So the more you can cut out, the more you can cut out with running your business, the more you can actually put time into actually building your business. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be working in your business for too long. You want to be working on your business and growing it. And GoShippo just gives you a lot of different options: USPS, UPS, and DHL. You can ship all different types of services automatically and save a ton of money depending on if you ship international and stuff like that. So I highly recommend GoShippo as well. So guys, I know that's a lot when you're trying to build something like this, but it's really worth it at the end of the day, because you're going to be bringing a lot of revenue, monthly recurring revenue, and it does take a lot of work when you're doing something like this. But I highly recommend doing all those steps. It took me a while to even find out about all these different platforms I could use to build my business. So I'm saving you guys a lot of time, because it took me months to find all this stuff and realize that I could use all these different platforms to actually make my business possible. But once you get past pricing your box and building a website, things like that, I highly recommend, a lot of people don't talk about this, but build a space in your house or a room or anything like that. Wherever you are, build a space that you can work in, because you don't want to be working anywhere with your stuff. You want to have like a nice space, like maybe like a small office room in your house to save some money. I actually went and rented an office for my business when I first started, but I highly recommend doing this in your house to save some money. That's what I would have done if I actually would have had, if I would have knew about this, because once you're starting your business, you're not going to be making a lot up front. You're going to be starting off, and every penny counts. So starting in your house is highly recommended. Just build a nice section, like have some tables lined up, have like a little conveyor type situation to where this goes here, then you have like little operations that you can do, and have little stations set up to where it's super easy and not frustrating, because you don't want to have stuff all over the place and you're just trying to grab whatever and you're getting frustrated with your own business. You want to have it so, nice and neat to where it's easy to work with for you, because you're going to be working in your business yourself when you're first starting off, and you want to make sure it's easy as possible, because it's going to be easy to get frustrated because you're building all this stuff and you just want it to happen. And it's important to just be patient and build a nice space and invest in things like that, because it's going to pay off in the long run, having that type of space that you can call your own for your business. So now I want to go over some of the mistakes I made when I first started my subscription-based business. Is that I did all of the stuff I just told you guys to do, but then I was trying to make it as best as possible for the customer. I thought about the customer a lot when I was building my business, and that's really, really important. But you don't want to cut yourself short when you're starting your business. Like I was priced my box at around $10 to $12, and it sounded great and it looked like it was really great. But once I started doing it, once I was in the business, I realized I wasn't making a lot of money. Like I was working so hard, but wasn't making a lot of money. So really run those numbers. Like don't just look at the numbers, like really think, is this what you want out of this when you're working this hard? Don't overcharge your customer, but definitely make sure you're getting your fair share and you're looking at every little aspect of your business. Definitely look at the cost of every little thing that's going into your business and factor those costs, and don't just think because it's not too much, so I won't think about that. That's the mistake I made. Definitely look at every little cost when it comes to your business, and you're going to save so much money. Definitely be a penny pincher when it comes to your business, not to where your business isn't functioning right, to where all you care about is saving money, but to the point where it's like it looks really good, it is good, but you're also saving as much money as possible with your business. Second thing is that make sure this business is actually what you want to do, guys. When I started this, it sounded really great, and I was honestly doing it to make make about $10,000 a month. But then when I was doing it, I love the product I'm selling, I love all of that, but once I was doing it, I was like, I'm not sure if this is what I really want to do with my life. But I had a lot of fun doing it, but I'm definitely going to continue with my business. But it's definitely not the most fun thing when you're putting these boxes together, and definitely make sure it's something you want to do, guys. It's all about, you don't want to, not about having fun with your business, because it's about hard work and grinding, but you want to make sure it's definitely something you want to do. So definitely, I highly recommend, even just before you even build everything, just kind of put something together, like a little simulation, and go through it for a week and see if this is really what you want to do before you put your time and effort and money into this. A lot of people tell you about the good things about this, but make sure it's something you want to do, because you don't want to just be doing this for money, guys, because that feeling is gonna last long once you're in here every day. And you don't want to just hire somebody, because now you're wasting money on hiring people. Definitely make sure it's something you want to do in the long run. Another big mistake I made, guys, was just spending too much money on things I didn't really need with my business. I was getting all sorts of things that they were useful, but they wasn't necessary when I first started off. And like I said, you want to save as much money as possible when you first start off. Don't just buy random things that you don't really need. You may think you need them, but only buy necessities with your business. Unless it's making a huge impact on the difference of how you run your business, I highly recommend not purchasing it. I highly recommend just running your business with only the bare necessities, guys, to save as much money as possible, because you're going to want to reinvest that money into marketing, marketing is going to be one of the biggest things after you build your business. And another thing is, guys, when you launch, you're going to be waiting for these customers to come pouring in, but I guarantee they will not pour in just like that. Just because you put in the work, customers don't know how much work you put in. Don't assume just because you put in tons and tons of work that customers going to come flooding your website just because you work that hard. It does not work like that. Don't even assume that. I mean, always have high hopes that your business is going to do well, but don't assume. Assumption is going to leave you feeling like you didn't work hard enough, and it's going to make you feel down about yourself. But so don't assume it's just going to work like that. Everything comes with you have to put in the work to get those customers. You have to do marketing, you have to get influencer marketing, you have to be on social media, you have to get these customers in the door. You have to tell customers why your brand is that good, and that's your job. After you've built everything, after you did all that work that we just talked about, you have to really build this thing again, and it's going to be even tougher after the website and everything else is built. You have to really get these customers in. Like I said, you have to keep these people. You have to work really hard to get them in, keep them for as long as possible, and because they are the bread and butter for your business. So definitely keep that in mind when you're doing something like this, and make sure it's, like I said, make sure this is something you want to do. Don't waste your time if you feel like, man, I really don't want to do this, you know. But definitely always have that position in mind to where, you know what, I need to work hard. I need to get over what I don't want to do and move forward with this. So that's just another tip for you guys that has worked for me. Just pushing forward. Make sure this is something you want to do, because you're gonna have a lot to look forward to when you're doing something like this. So I'm gonna wrap up this video right there, guys. That was a ton of information. I highly recommend watching this video over and over again to really get those in and do the research, put in the work. And I hope you guys got a tremendous amount of value out of this. I'm always trying to give you guys as much value as possible out of these videos. Like I said, I'm really excited that we're at about 11 videos now, so I'm going to start bringing you guys more content to grow your income, teach you guys investing, things like that, how you can invest in yourself. A lot of different topics we're going to be diving into, but I hope you guys got value out of this video, because work really hard on this, and I just want to share with you guys so you can take your life to the next level, and step up your game in your life. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know in the comments if you guys want me to go in depth with another video where I actually build another subscription site, just to show you guys what it looks like. It's not going to be I might actually build a real site and run the site so you guys can see how it is, and teach you guys step by step, real in depth, how to build a subscription based business from scratch. Let me know in the comments if you guys are looking forward to that, and I'll go ahead and put that out if enough people request it. So I'll see you guys next time.